Yes, everyone, welcome back to 5, Ste and Rio, Ferdinand. Now, I've seen the comments. Have you seen the comments?
Yep.
People have been in the comments, and that's okay. We want your opinions. And people saying, oh, you're not talking about what's going on with United, not talking about the Glazers.
We're at a World Cup.
Do you think it's because we don't want it?
Bloody World Cup. What do you want? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think people understand. I think people look at this and go, they're on a jolly. You don't even know the hours. The hours are mad.
Wait, can I hear that louder, please? Because people are assuming. I had half a day off the other day, and I went to the beach, right? And I had the Factor 15 on, chilling, and I had so many texts from my mates and people at home. Oh my God, he's saying he's working. Look at him. He's out having a jolly with his mates. No, it ain't like that. It might look like that. Social media sometimes isn't the true reflection of reality. And in this case, that's bang on.
I'm averaging about 4 or 5 hours sleep a night max.
Oh, I've averaged 5 hours a night. I've worked it out.
I know yesterday, Ash did a 21-hour day, I think, yesterday. People don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know, so it's busy. It's
tough out here, guys. It's tough out here.
It's not because we want to avoid the topic at all. I mean, it's a topic I talk about regularly anyway.
Let's get into it, Steve. Go on.
So what's happened is Manchester United have released a statement. Now, in the 17 years of Glazers ownership, I don't think they've ever released a statement about anything.
Never spoken.
No.
Don't speak.
Wouldn't know what it sounded like.
No.
He could ring me, and I'd be like, who are you?
Yeah.
Right? So they've released a statement saying that, and it was pretty vague, but I think it has to be because stock market rules and stuff. But it was essentially, the club are going to start exploring other investment opportunities that are partial and full sale as a potential that could happen. So the Glazers could be on the way out of the club. What's your initial response to that?
I think it'll be good for all concerned. I think they'll make a hell of a lot of money on their investment, which is great for them.
Their investment or the bank's investment?
Whatever way you want to put it, I'll shape it up. So in terms of a business deal, it's a ridiculous deal that they've done and they've benefited from. And the fan base, the core of the fan base, will be delighted to see the back of them as well. So I think it's a win-win for everybody concerned. I just don't know how it's going to play out. I think it's going to have to be an astronomical deal, offer, above market value for them to take the offer, because there's too much good and positives that come with being the owners of Manchester United. So it's just going to have to be a crazy deal, which I think is possible. I think that there's the suitors out there, the names that you're seeing bandied about, the amount of resources and finance that they have around them would shoot Manchester United into another stratosphere. They'll be standing alongside the other super clubs in terms of finances and the power that they've got, like the Man Cities.
Well, surely. Anyone who can afford us can afford to invest in us.
Yeah, exactly. And what the difference is that Man United would have then, you've got the power and the resources of a Paris Saint-Germain, a Man City, but you've also got the history. You've got the star power. You've got the history of winning, the culture at the football club that's been born out of years and years and years of stories and winning trophies that would then set Man United apart even further. So it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. Listen, the type of owner that you get, I don't know. It's in today's game, it could be it could be a state, it could be an individual, it could be a group of guys, girls. We don't know how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, so there's been some wild. And immediately this statement comes out. And Apple, yeah. The journalists have just gone straight to work. Now the Apple one, at first you go, wait, what? Apple make around about $1 billion a day. So they're buying United in about a week, maybe a long weekend on the other end of it, right? So they could easily buy United. And United actually make so much money, you could just let it run, because we've been paying the debt off over the last 17 years. We would be competitive if someone just cleared the debt and just went, okay, I'm not putting anything else in, but you lot crack on. And we'd be fine. But I think the club needs investment into the training ground. I've been talking about that for ages. Cristiano Ronaldo's lately jumped on the bandwagon and started talking about...
He's been watching the show, guys, obviously. He's watched the show. He's seen you speak, Steve.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm going to amplify what you're saying. Yeah, fair play. The stadium needs a Karcher on it, because it's minging in places, and it needs finishing.
It needs a Real Madrid.
Yeah, I don't want to move, but we got to upgrade. Like, they took over in 2005. The plans for the filling in of the corners was done in 2004. So realistically, they've done nothing major to the stadium in 17 years. And if you look at the 17 years that preceded that, from 1988, when he was still the Stretford end, when he was still all the standing, to what Martin Edwards oversaw in 17 years versus what we've just seen in the last 17 years, it's scandalous.
That's the bit that baffles me, really. I think Cristiano Ronaldo lives and breathes in that place for the last year or so, or just a touch longer, and has highlighted the inadequacies and how it's just stagnated and it's just remained very, very much the same as to when he left it, fundamentally. That's the bit that I look at and think, like, listen, the club, you've invested in the club, invest in it. Don't talk about it or say, oh, we've got plans. The plans come out after Cristiano Ronaldo's interview. And that's just a reaction to what's gone on, the fire.
Nothing's proactive.
No, and like you say, I totally agree with you in that you look at the stadium and you go, wow, like 17 years and you haven't really put... What they have been good at is upgrading the boxes. Why? Because they make money. So you'd like to think that they'd have been able to expand the stadium and make it a state-of-the-art stadium for today. And it's crazy because they're going to leave and walk out with all that money, with good luck to them, without really putting their heart and soul into the football club to make it a better product. Yeah, and almost it's not soulless because the club's got so many great people there that have been working there for years. And Cristiano, when he said, it's still the same chef and still the same people on reception, etc., that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that got spun the wrong way, that particular line.
That's a great thing. That's what makes clubs great. Those people that we don't see and hear about in the media at the front, they're the people that keep the soul within the football club. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with Man United when I went there. It's not necessarily about winning all the trophies. That's great, don't get me wrong.
It's the 9 to 5
but it's the people that are there day to day with you, the people that I speak to even still now, the Carols of this world, who's a dinner lady, Kath on reception, Albert, the kit man, John, the other kit man, lunatic, shout out John, what a guy. But these people are the ones that are the foundations of the football club that you have to keep. And whoever comes in that football club, please do not do one of those mass clear-outs and, we've got to make everything brand new, spanking shiny. Please, those people behind the scenes who make the players smile on a bad day, that pick the players up when it's not a good day, are as important as the superstars that you're buying at the football club. And you have to keep them. And so... that's what makes football clubs great. West Ham was the same when I was there. Leeds was the same. 3 clubs steeped in a lot of history, but one key fundamental that was running through the veins of all of those football clubs is they kept a lot of the people there that were there from years ago, who carried on traditions and history, made players aware of what went before them, etc. So important. And I'm scared, and I've seen it at other clubs that I've been around, that those people are being enabled to leave or pushed, and it's not nice, it's not right for the club.
For those wondering, I mentioned earlier that the person that comes in and buys Manchester United will absolutely have money to invest into us. And the reason I say that is the way the Glazers bought the club, it's called a leveraged buyout, where it's basically just they got a loan and they're paying the loan back and debt, and then they put that debt up on the club. That is now illegal to do in terms of buying a football club in England, at least. So that cannot happen again.
It's got to be a cash buyer, bang.
Yeah, so it's got to be someone that's got liquid assets, someone that can come in, put the dosh on the table and take the club off their hands. When Sky was trying to buy United in 1998, I think Sky offered somewhere in the region of 2 times the value. So United are currently valued anywhere between 4 and 5 billion. With the debt level being what it is at 600-700 million at the moment, if it goes the same way it went in 98, and if it goes the same way Chelsea went, because 30 people came out of the woodwork. I didn't think there were 30 people with that sort of cash that liked football enough.
There's more Man United fans with that type of cash as well.
You'd hope so.
All the heads of these families and states and big corporate companies, I guarantee probably 80% of them will probably be Man United fans.
I think the club is going to... I personally think that the whole package to clear the debt...
7 mil.
No, I think 10.
8.
I think 10.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a 10 bill when the debt's included. So it might be 9 plus debt. I think it's going to be a 10 bill deal for United, which is mental.
Would that make Man United the biggest sports franchise in the world?
Gotta be.
Wow.
Gotta be. But then we go, okay, so who can afford that? David Beckham's name was flung up into probably nonsense, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, but Becks will come with a consortium. I saw Becks last night at the game. I went to the England game and we were sat next to each other.
What did it smell like?
It smelled beautiful.
Yeah, not bad.
It smelled beautiful, looked $1 million, as he normally does.
Did it look $10 billion?
He didn't look $10 billion worth, but he's. But Becks is when you mention someone like Becks' name, he's obviously a part owner of Inter Miami. He doesn't come. It's not his money.
Yeah.
It's not him, in terms of putting a hand in his pocket. He comes with a consortium. He comes with people with the deep pockets who have the ability to go and execute on a deal like that, probably. So that's the way he'll be approaching it, and rightly so. But I just think it's going to come down to a number. If you've got the number and you can produce, that's what it's going to be about.
Would you like to see an ex-player involved as part of some consortium?
I think when you look at it, the clubs that are successful over big periods of time have players that have worn the shirt, understand the traditions, understand the history, understands the ethos of the football club, and continue that. Ajax, Edwin van der
the
Sar,
biggest in the world.
Yeah, Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
Rumours in there, and among others,
And
Real
Barca.
Madrid, Barca. They all do it. They've all got players that have been in and around the football club at some point in their life, and they're back in there working the club because they understand it, and it's a key part. And then they have business people around them to facilitate and run things and control the business element of the football club. And then those people learn on the job, but with a football background. And I think that's an area that the new owners potentially that come in, I think, have to really look at. Because it's not just the money coming into the football club. It's not just that the Glazers, in some people's eyes, have run the club the wrong way. It's the actual foundations, the infrastructure underneath that hasn't been working properly as well. Because when you look at recruitment, the recruitment's been terrible. Then that's not down to an owner, because the owners, the Glazers, weren't picking the players. They employed someone to go and pick the players. And at the moment, for me, it hasn't been good enough.
No, we've had 10 years we've spent a lot of
Mediocre.
money, but the value's not there. It's not on the pitch. People talk about United spending $1 billion. There's not £1 billion worth of players on
Exactly.
the pitch.
When the new people come in and they go 10 years and they look back in 10 years and they've spent $1 billion, $2 billion, whatever it is with market, the way it rises, whatever that figure is, does the team on the pitch reflect that? Could you, if you had to do a wholesale fire, a wholesale sale of all of these players, would you get your money back? We wouldn't now.
The only one that you might get your money back on is Bruno.
Yeah. So, I mean, Martinez and Malacia, etc., have still got to prove over time. We don't know. But in the main, over 10 years, the value's through the floor.
Yeah.
It's poor.
Yeah, I think getting that structure correct, and I think that's where Manchester City went a bit west early doors with Gary Cook. He's like, I'm signing Messi, I'm signing Kaká. Then they got Tixi Brazil signed in, and it's just been almost flawless.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that's helped Pep in a massive way is just that he's gone, I need another fullback, and another fullback actually while you're at it. And they've gone, okay. And they've just delivered everything that he's asked for.
But you know why?
Well, he's delivering.
Because no. Man City have a clear line of people who are accountable for their roles in the hierarchy. You've got the owner who employs Cheeky and I think one other guy, and then you've got
Soriano.
Pep. Yeah, and you've got Pep.
You've got a great book, by the way, that you should read.
Pep feeds into those two guys. That's it. It's not fragmented. And two guys who know what they're doing, who are best at what they're doing, proven in that position.
Soriano's got a book called Goal, The Ball Doesn't Go In by Accident, and it's literally it's the handbook on how to run a club.
Well,
we need to deliver. Well, I've got it. I'll deliver it to
to
whoever
me.
gets the new.
While we're on job.
Whoever gets the new gig at thing. Yeah. But even Newcastle, like I was kind of hoping Newcastle would just throw crazy bids in, because then it shows they're not serious. But they ain't done that.
That's the worrying thing.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
If you're Man United or someone like Chelsea or Liverpool or Man City, the worrying thing about the way that the Saudi ownership at Man City have gone, your point is perfectly correct. They haven't been willy-nilly. They haven't been frivolous with the way that they've spent.
What have you heard? Infrastructure, people in the background.
Yeah, Dan Ashworth's a great signing for them. He's done it at Brighton on a shoestring budget in comparison to those clubs we've mentioned, and will do the meticulous work behind the scenes in recruitment to make sure that they're getting market value when they're paying for player, rather than over the top and paying over the odds.
Yeah.
It's good. It's scary.
That's the terrifying thing. I think Newcastle appear to know what they're doing.
And the Saudi approach just seems like they've sat on the sidelines watching and gone, right, we've seen what's good, the bad and the ugly, we're going to go for it and be balanced and measured. Good.
Yeah. And hopefully that's what United get. I have no steer on anything at the moment. I don't think anyone does. But I don't think that this has all come about just on the back of Ronaldo. I think interest rates, obviously with the level of debt we've got, has been a major factor. I think the European Super League getting boshed has been probably the major factor. But I also think Liverpool announcing that they're up for sale.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, there's not loads of people that can afford football clubs. And I think we've probably gone, we might try and get out in front of Liverpool here.
I don't know. I just think there's always going to be a buyer for Man United.
Let's hope so.
And there's probably there's just as short of that will be a buyer for Liverpool as well, in the same market.
Do you think it could be a case of out of the frying pan into the fire, or do you think it's more likely to be a positive change for the club?
I think it's a positive change for the club. Just the fact that the debt's cleared, that's a step forward in the right direction, a massive step. And then you want someone with the right intentions, a good track record, who respects and cares about and appreciates the history of the football club and the people within the football club. That's all you want with a buyer.
Who's the two most successful clubs in England the last 20 years?
Chelsea, Man City.
Correct. What have both of those owners demanded?
Success.
Yeah. What have ours demanded?
Return on investment.
Champions League football. and that's what you get.
Yeah.
If we was competing with Chelsea, who are demanding Champions League
But
wins,
those two clubs have flaws still. They're not perfect.
No, but I'm saying from a performance-only point of view, what's the gaffer been demanding?
they've just invested in that.
Just get me the league, get me the titles, and that's what they've both delivered there. They're by far the most successful team the last 20 years.
But also they've delivered an infrastructure that is conducive to success.
Anyway, that's it from us. Please get your comments in below. Who do you think is going to be taking us over? Apple seemed like a mad one on the face of it, but apparently they've got the rights to MLS, so I can see United being a content vehicle for them.
I'd love to be owned by Apple. Imagine the free chargers you get. You can get limitless chargers,
Bosh.
phones, they're unbelievable. I'd love it.
They do everything really high level.
Imagine
as well,
what the training ground would be like. They're how high tech and it'd be sick.
That's the ideal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone like that.
You
Someone
walk in and
edge tech.
you haven't even got to put your phone on anything. The technology they've probably got where you walk in, your phone charges, just starts charging and stuff like that. You've got guaranteed Wi-Fi. That'd be amazing. Sorry.
Anyway, cheers for tuning in. See you in the next one.